Do you have Qs in your circle?
I have Qs in my extended circle, people's mothers and sisters and stuff. Yeah.
And there are levels of Q, because one of the things we talked about a little bit, those levels, like people believe that there are, child trafficking. You're like, yeah, right. I think that's right.
There's that.
Right.
And then once they get into and it happens under a pizza place and you drink their blood, you're like, all right, that's a little too specific. That probably
right. But you can go in wherever you want to go. If you're like somebody who's like, I don't know about vaccines, there's like a little entry into QAnon for you.
What are the different entry points? Is it vaccines, or is it anything within this political landscape can be an entry point?
Anything of skepticism is like, that's kind of the strength of QAnon, that they're like all conspiracy theories welcome.
They'll find a way to tug you in. This is my at my conspiracy theory that I think is out there, but like that TikTok is a full on like Chinese psyop built to destroy America by pushing everyone into these conspiracy lanes, ripping people apart that way.
See, I look at it differently. I think TikTok is looking to destroy America by making us all adept at only 11-second dances.
Yes. That would be all communication.
Quick cut edits.
That's the only. Once you do that to a population, they are not capable then of taking on larger challenges than learning the renegade.
Well, that's why I'm raising the alarms, because if your value to society is based on choreo, I'm out.
Of course it's based on choreo. It's always been based on choreo. And there's always just enough meddling by the powers that be to justify. You always find enough evidence of unseen powers intervening in the affairs of mortals to justify sort of the further leaps.
Right.
Well, are you saying that they've never, that they don't gather in Davos and create interest rates? You saying they don't just print money out of nothing? No, You're right.
They do that. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
How come you don't believe that there's a tracking device in your vaccine? Like, there's enough there that it's very hard to just say like that never happens. The only thing that you can imagine is, I think a lot of people attribute to malevolence what can be generally described through incompetence.
Yes.
And malevolence. Our ability to control things is maybe not as.
I think that's one of the things that Gabriel said that really resonated, was like, fact checking doesn't work with this stuff. Right. You have to tell a better story. But how? Like, how, if you're like rooted in reality, do you tell a better story than a global cabal of shadowy billionaires or
like
lizard people trafficking in child blood?
It's
You're like,
great.
I can't tell a better story than that with the truth.
So that's my point is like global cabal of billionaires. Like, people use money to buy power and influence, and they make changes to things that affect your life. It's how they move into the lizard thing. But I always assumed the lizard thing was kind of like a trope, like a go-to, like in the way that, the comedians all have tropes that they go to for jokes. It's always that like the guy with the Canadian girlfriend. The Canadian girlfriend doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Isn't that just a trope? Or is that actually, absolutely kind of embedded in the reality of how people think about this? Or like, how narrow is the lizard people world versus the people who think there are rich people who control more of the workings of society than I'm comfortable with?
Sure. I think lizard is like the jump, the almost comedic leap, but I think
that's what I'm saying.
There's a lot of people who do believe, and like a healthy amount who believe that there are rich people drinking baby blood and harvesting.
Yeah, that's the one where you're like,
Yeah.
I would think if you're a rich person and you have access to like incredible pizza, why would you do the other thing?
Why would you go with the baby blood?
We're gonna have tonight baby's blood. What? I'm rich. I can get to Tono's. I can have a guy drive out and pick up John's pizza.
Get a calzone right now.
Why do I want baby's blood?
What's weird to me about all of it is that the cabal, like, you don't have to say that there's a secret cabal. It's happening obviously in front of us. So you don't have to go.
It's not much of a conspiracy.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, that's happening. So I think the lizard people and like the blood babies and stuff, it's like, oh, we are obsessed with the secret that we can find.
Something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's probably part of it because it is, there's a secret cabal of billionaires, Citizens United. I think that's Citizens United.
It's a Supreme Court. So
Right. I think the Supreme Court decided that was okay, that we were going to go with that.
It's also like these guys they're taking adrenochrome to stay young. It's like, have you seen George Soros's face? Like, it's not working.
Right.
He looks like he's skydiving.
Well, and Peter, it does look like he's skydiving.
How is,
Robby.
by the way, though, Rupert Murdoch
Yeah.
doesn't look like he's skydiving.
I know. And he's 90 something.
Well,
right?
this is where you're like, man, he must have a deal with somebody. Like, this is how it starts. You're like, what's Rupert
Right.
Murdoch doing to stay young?
Right. I'm assuming it's embalming fluid. Well, that's all the billionaires. There is a part of me that whenever I meet one, I just want to say one thing and one thing only. I just want to lean in, get right in their ears and say, death will be victorious.
Yes.
Because there's that,
Yeah.
you do get that sense that they're like, I'm just going to invent this thing.
Right.
And I'm going to, and money and power is going to keep me alive.
Peter Thiel is like literally trying to live forever.
Doesn't he have he has a blood boy? Doesn't Peter Thiel
So
have an
here's how
actual
it
blood
starts.
boy?
All right, so
This is
now
how it starts.
this is how it all starts. So Kris, basically we've gone from, yes, I do believe that money has too much influence in today's society to, Peter Thiel has a blood boy.
I think he does.
He has a farm of blood boys. I believe if you visit him at Blood Boy Farm,
Yeah.
you will find
That
thousands,
he has young men who
thousands
are
of blood boys.
It's an HR nightmare, but it pays okay.